Fermi and the riders are starting to arrive now, which is very, very good. Just walking through all the sidecars that are here, and the rest of the guys are all starting to arrive. A lot of the guys at the bottom of the end bit of where everybody sits here with all the things, but it is actually quite warm now. That breeze is still up, but we're just a little bit sheltered out of the breeze here, aren't we? So yeah, at least we're getting a little bit of sun on the old head and kind of topping up from last week. If you think how nice it was this time last week, and look what we had yesterday, and look what's forecast for the rest of the week. But hey, let's just hope that weather that is scheduled to come in does not come in, but it doesn't look good for the rest of the week. And don't forget, there's racing down at Balaun on the Saturday there as well, so if you want to get yourself down there, feel free to do so. Now, just by Debbie Barron's outfit there, hopefully Debbie's going to get out for a lap a little bit later on and be able to get his time in and get that qualification time. Get this way, you. Mark Parrott, good afternoon.
Oh, and Chris, how's it going?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah.
What about this little R6 then?
Well, hopefully we can relive some of the glory we used to have on it. It's just getting the speeds up, really. I think everyone's been suffering practice week. So, see how it goes today. It'd be nice to get a finish after what happened on Saturday.
Tell people what happened on Saturday, for those who don't know.
I just broke down at Cronknamona last lap, so 220 miles done, and the last 2 miles, it just conks out on you.
What happened?
It appeared to be the power commander, but we got it all plugged in and back together, and it appears to be working again, so bit of a mystery.
Bit of a wire somewhere? You checked it all? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, we've checked it all out, and mate from the Dynajet truck, he's checked it all out as well, so hopefully it's cured, and we'll find out after the race this evening.
You're gonna have a run on it?
Yeah, we're going to take it out. Same bike we use for Superbike and Superstock. So yeah, it should be good fun, hopefully.
All right, good luck, Mark.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you very much. There he is, and let's go over and have a word with James Hillier, actually, while he's just sat there chilling out. James for the Bournemouth Kawasaki Primo Racing Team, right at the bottom here, sat very, very chilled, and just sat in the seat, all chilled out. All right, young James.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Ready to go?
Yeah, ready as I'll ever. I was ready this morning, you know, till the news there, but that's the way it is on the Isle of Man, and just same for everyone. So that's it. We just see what we can do now.
What did you go and do in the delay?
Had a bit of lunch and put my head down. I didn't really sleep much, just chilled out like.
Okay, might be getting another round, so just a second there.
Grandstand attention paddock, just be aware that we're going to redo the pit lane fire.
Okay, this is a fire test. So what are your hopes for this, James? Let's look at your speeds in practice. 100, where are we there? 118.55.
Yeah, to be honest, we haven't really done many laps on the 600 at all. We've focused on the bigger bikes, which is bad, but good for the bigger classes. You know, and we're down to one engine on the 600, so we're trying to preserve it a little bit. Albeit it's a good engine, so you know, I haven't got my head down yet in practice on the thing, so just gonna do what I can, go strong from the start and good first lap, and watch the boards and see what we can do.
Obviously, look at this for looking at Supersport Race 2.
Yeah, definitely use it as a bit of a test, you know, and as I say, we haven't done many laps, so I've got to get myself up to speed a bit more on the 600 and just carry that corner speed to bring the times down.
All right, good luck, James.
Thank you, cheers.
Thank you. There's James Hillier. He's off at 13, and as we said, sorry, Noel, just don't want to be jumping in front of you there while he takes his pictures. See, we've got to look at these guys, you know, they've got pictures to take and that. Swan Yamaha's here, and just got a nice picture of that. I'm going to put that on the Manx Radio TT365 Facebook page just a little bit later on if we can. Just going to squeeze in past this gentleman here, get round to Guy, sorry Flower, and maybe just let him finish his little chat with his mechanic, and we're done and dusted. Yeah, he's just finished having a little chat with his mechanic there now, so we'll just let him finish that, and that's the most important thing. And he's got the little bag over his shoulder with a little bit of fluid. Let him finish the chat, and then he's done. Good morning, afternoon.
Alan, you all right?
Yeah, very good. Now, keep it clean, because my producer gave me so much stick the other day in my ears.
Well, there's nothing rude said, was there?
No. How's it going, Guy? All right, I mean...
Rude? What was said rude?
Shh, say nothing. Tell us about this race, then.
Nothing was rude said, was there? Oh, I was asking the boys here, no. I was, yeah. I was
You were
brought
being
up.
you.
I know my manners. No, we're... I was looking at the boys, we're 8. Yeah, we're 8. Ready for action. We should be fair off. I mean, I got a couple of podiums on it last year. Yeah, we haven't done what we've done, 3 laps on it. We've done 3 laps on it. Yeah, and it's good. I've read it's probably the best handling thing out there, but we're just a little bit so much missing speed-wise, which is all right. But then...
The Wilson Craig guys.
Aye, them boys. but, you know, this off-bike obviously won the British Championship, but then the British Championship in the TT, is it?
It's not. A lot of fans out there rooting for you today, I'm sure. Again, a lot of replica sideburns I've seen around.
Aye, 1 or 2, isn't there? 1 or 2. Yeah, they haven't got my mixture of ginger and grey, though.
The grey creeping in.
Aye, there is. Aye, yeah, there is.
You're only a young fella, yeah?
Aye, only a bit. No, it's Birds don't mind that, do they? A bit of grey. What do they call it? But when you're grey, what do they call that? In a bird, it's distinguished.
Distinguished. Is that like going bald?
Yeah, if you get a bird going grey, then well, not worth looking at. But if you got a grey fella, it's all right. They're distinguished, aren't they? So yeah, so I'll go with that.
Guy, good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, guys. The guy's off at 3, and the bike looks well. She looks well. Big people, big crush of people around here trying to get into see Guy, and just obviously maybe get a little word of them being pulled over here by Tim O'Hanlon, and don't to bash into the photographer man while he takes his pictures. Thank you very much. Let's have a word with Annie, steady on now. My word. Bruce, good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is.
Something like that.
Clue. All right.
Yep, not too bad.
No loud pipe.
No, we need as much power as we can to beat Williams, so every little horsepower counts.
They're going well, those 2 Wilson Craig bikes, aren't they? They're flying, but showed it at the Northwest, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough to beat, but I'll try and get a good start this time and see how we go.
Try and wake up a bit. What have you been doing? Just been speaking to James Hillier. He said a bit of a chill out. Paul Owens said a bit of a sleep. What did you do?
Not a lot, really. Just sort of like... Must have been asleep because I can't remember.
Can't remember. Chilled out, and you're wearing the special Arai lid as well, a carbon fibre jobby again.
Yeah, got the carbon helmet again, nice and light, so...
Is there that much of a difference, obviously, with the standard RX-7? Is there that much of a difference between that and the one that you normally wear, the dark one?
Yeah, the standard ones are quite heavy. So what I do in practice week, I wear the heavy one, and then I change over to the carbon one for race, and it feels like I'm not wearing a helmet, so it all helps.
It certainly does, and the bit of a not as high a screen as you'd have on the Superbike, is it? But you need to get right down on these, don't you?
Yeah, just got to keep it tucked in, just try and keep your corner speed up everywhere you can, and see what we can do.
See what you can do. Good luck.
Cheers.
Thank you very much to Bruce. Excuse me, Ellie, just round the back here, and shit. He's always sitting down, Mr. Glover, isn't he? Good morning, Mr. McGuinness. Afternoon, Mr. McGuinness.
How you doing? Yeah, it's afternoon now, isn't it? Yeah, it's been a long day actually. I was up at 8 o'clock, pacing up and down, getting a few bits and pieces ready, and yeah, it's taken till 1 o'clock for us to get going. But that's the Ironman for you, unfortunately. You know, I mean, somebody else out there's had a worse day than we have, so you know, it's just one of them things. But yeah, we're ready to go.
What about this little 600 then? I mean, you said you love riding this. It's just like riding a little toy, and the Wilson Craig bike's going to be the ones to watch, aren't they?
I love riding it. You know, it's a fantastic machine. I've ridden for Clive since 07, and we've had some good results. You know, a few seconds, and you know, knocking on the door of a win. But you know, it's not going to be an easy race. It's going to be a lot tighter, and you know, the Dunlop boys are flying. Cameron's flying. Ryan could be flying. Gary Johnson won the race last year and stuff like that. So I don't know. We're just going to go with the same attitude. Just, you know, everything's a gear higher, everything's a bit quicker corner speed, and it's good fun to ride. And I'll do my best on it. Wherever we finish, you know. But 4 laps is tough on a little 600. The things are revving so hard, and you work them really, really hard. So, you know, at the end of the day, they've got to finish. And you know, touch wood, Clive's bikes have been reliable. So if we're there at the end, we won't be a million miles away, I'm sure.
4 laps on one tyre, rear tyre?
Yeah, 4 laps on one. That's the plan. And you know, when we come in for the pit stop, we'll have a look at it and leave it down to the other guys to make the decision, but I don't think we'll be changing it. If we do, the race is over for us, I think, you know, for sure. But yeah, the day's all over the place now. I get to ride my electric bike in between, which I wanted to ride it after I've ridden all the petrol engine bikes, so it's going to be a bit of a difficult, tricky day, but same for everybody, I suppose. Just have to deal with it, you know. We had a late Superstock race, I think, a couple of years ago, same crack, so we'll be right. 6:30, we're riding around here. There's plenty of daylight left in it.
Loads, John. Good luck.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you very much to John McGuinness there. Plenty of daylight left. Thank you very much. Right, Tim O'Hanlon, yeah, being dragged over here, and Gary Johnson's here just having a conversation with somebody else, and we'll just let him finish that. There we go. Just having his conversation with one of his friends, I think, and just final few words, which is good. It's all right. You keep talking. Millions of people around the world can wait. It's all right, you crack on. There you go. We'll let him finish his conversation. All right, Gaz, done? There you go. See, we can't interrupt conversation with friends, you know. We can't do that.
Yeah, there's from our friends from Italy. Like,
From Italy, oh, good men.
Yeah, they're on the electric bike, so just having a few little discussions before we maybe get a lap on that later on.
What are you looking forward to that? I mean, it's something completely different for you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I haven't rid a hairdryer around the TT course yet, so going to get a chance now. But yeah, looking forward to that. It's a beautiful piece of kit. It's probably one of the nicest looking bikes out there, alongside the Mugen and that. So
Moto says.
Yeah, like you know, so it puts in a calibre of that. It's a fair bit lighter, and that's hopefully it's got some disadvantages. It's got some big advantages. So depends how it fares around the TT course. Obviously, first year it's going to be learning on it. So hopefully get another chance next year if things don't go 100% to plan.
Supersport race winner last year.
Yeah, it seems a long time ago now. Really happy with the bike. You know, we've took it on board this year with some of our own sponsors, got Links Lifting, NLC, Cormac Scaffolding and JJB Transport, and between the four of them we've funded the bike, we've refreshed the engines, put a new engine in for practice at the last thing. It feels really strong, so I'm full of confidence for the race. William's looking strong, so is Bruce, and obviously, you know, it's a who's who again of names. You just list them off, but I'm going to put myself in the mix there.
All right, guys, good luck.
Cheers, bud.
Thank you very much. Gary Johnson now. Let's look at his lap speeds, and just round here is William. Well, we think he was just out of the way. I'll be as fast as I can, William. I'll be as quick as I can. It showed at the Northwest what your bike's capable of, top speed, but it's a different ball game here, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the best bike doesn't win round here, to be honest, so it's going to be hard work. There's 4 or 5 lads, you know.
It's not the fastest bike, is it? It's the best handling bike, especially on these little ones, because you don't these little bikes tearing themselves to bits, do you?
Yeah, well... Liability, just everything, yeah. Well, it's handy to have the speed, which we have, so no, it's going to be good. Just get the head down. First 4 bikes is going to be a problem, but see how we get through them.
You've got those bikes in front of you. You've got Cameron as well, is going to be in the mix. You've got Bruce, you've got John, well, there's a list of about 10 or 12 people, isn't there?
Yeah, no, I think, as I say, you could be easily 5th, as I say, quickest all week, and then you can come here and be 5th, so one of them things I know I can do 1 lap quick. It's just where I can have the stamina for the 4, because I have been quite sore with my ankle still, so I'm just we're going into uncharted territory, and hopefully we can get a win out of it.
Well, hopefully the ankle will hold up, William, and good luck.
All right, cheers, mate.
There you go. Well, let him have his time. Let him have a bit of preparation time, and another man just about to put in his earplugs and just a little bit of whatever it is. It looks like he's putting cologne on now. He's putting something just to help him breathe, I think, as he's riding.
Smelling salts.
Smelling salts, lovely.
Just clear the head.
It's Cameron Donald. Cameron, good afternoon. Then what do you think? William's going to be the man? Well, they just said the other guys. There's going to be one of 6, 7 at least.
Absolutely. I hope we can give Wilson 2 bikes on the podium, and we'll just take it from there.
Has he ever stopped smiling, Wilson?
No, we've both been smiling a lot this TT, so it's good. But you know, blue skies out. Just really want to let's get this one started.
All right, Cam. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Cameron. Cheers. Thank you very much. We'll get up to the road then, because we are 10 minutes away from the start of this Supersport race 1. And it's going to be an interesting race. I think we should have maybe gone up the other way, but I think Tim O'Hanlon's there somewhere. Tim's struggling with a bit of a leg injury, so we've got to give him a little bit more time to catch us up, and I'll just march on anyway. We're just making our way to the bottom of Park Ferme, just towards the ramp, which is by Duke's Avenue, which is where runs down to the police station. And maybe have a word there. While I catch him, let's get him while we're here. Sean Anderson. Sean, a quick word, all right?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Glad to get the morning over us. Perfect conditions. Just see how we fare.
What about the Aprilia I seen you out on the other day? What's all that about?
Yeah, I think there's a wee bit of politics mixed up in there with something. Adrian came along, asked us to ride the Visor Shop Crossing motorcycles Aprilia on the Superstock, so we'll take it out this afternoon. Haven't had a whole lot of setup time, but hopefully we'll get a good steady run on it and just see. It'll be a new experience.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
There's Sean Anderson there, one of the newcomers to the TT after being a Manx Grand Prix man. And man I haven't managed to speak to all week, really, is Roy Richardson. Roy, good afternoon.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, just been chilling out in the awning and getting myself together, so I'm all ready for this.
An experienced campaigner like you, I mean, what do you do at these sort of times? You just sat on your hands?
I've been watching telly. We've been watching Bargain Hunt.
You haven't?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, dear me. Roy, what about the 600 then? Is it going all right?
Yeah, she's going great. I'm happy with the setup, so hopefully I'll get a good run in this.
All right, Roy, good luck.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you very much, Roy Richardson. Roy, let's have a little look in practice. 17th quickest, number 18 at 118.619. Let's jump in and maybe grab a word with Ian Locker if we can. Hello. Hello. Morning. I keep saying morning because we're supposed to be going. What about you, Ian Locker? What have you been up to while we've been sat around?
Not a lot, really. No, chilling out, yeah.
Not like Roy Richardson, who was watching Bargain Hunt then, no?
Well, it's bad enough through the week, isn't it?
It's bad enough. What about the 600 though, Ian? Tell us about it, all right?
Yeah, good, yeah. It's a bike, belongs to Road and Racing. They've prepared it for me, and I've done a good job. I'm not sure overall we're going to have speed, to be honest, against William and Michael's bikes, to be honest. They really are rocket ships. But I see Kawasaki lacks a little bit of speed. A good bike, a real good handling bike. Just lacks that little bit of top end, so we'll see anyway. But top 6 would be quite a good ride, I think, today.
All right, Ian, good luck.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you very much, Ian Locker there. Now let's look at Ian. 9th position qualified for number 14, so yeah, he could be definitely a man to beat. Here's Ben Wiley. Let's get in and have a word with young Ben Wiley. Now then, you always go well in this class, well up in this class last couple of years, so...
Yeah, the nerves are getting the better of me already. Thanks for that.
They're not. No, they're not. You can handle it dead easy. Just been speaking to Ian Locker, and guys are that experienced campaigners. Roy Richardson went to watch Bargain Hunt while he was having a 2-hour break. What did you do?
Sat around in the sun, to be honest, which is a nice relaxing change. So yeah, sat around in the sun, had a few cups of tea, and that was us. The next minute it was 1 o'clock. So
we're going to get going. What about the little 600? How's she been?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I haven't really touched it since last year. I haven't ridden it that much, to be honest, in practice week, because we've been concentrating on the other bikes. But I think once I get going down there and get my head into it, hopefully it'll all come flooding back and I'll be able to go a bit quicker than I went last year.
Just having a look at it, same machine as last year, obviously, but obviously in different colour scheme as well.
Yeah, it is exactly the same. Yeah, it's not changed anything on it. So even the setup's the same as last year.
That was your cue to give you new sponsors you plugged, but you missed it.
It's the same. No, it's the same sponsor, Per Cup Coffee Company again. Yeah, it's just that last year we had a sort of black thing with coffee beans, and we're going a bit lighter this year. So
it's a bit more noticeable, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully it stands out a bit better on the telly.
Good luck, Ben.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Ben Wiley. What are we on now? 5 minutes away from the start, just round the back here. Sorry, Jacko. Cheers. Dan, all right?
Yes, all right, Chris. Yeah.
Going to struggle being a big lad on the 600, or?
I have to fold myself up very neatly on this. Yeah.
In two?
Yeah, I need your legs, I think. Yeah.
We'll do a swap if you want. I wouldn't want to be that high. The air's not good up there. What about this race? I mean, you got Michael in front of you there.
I know if I catch Michael, I'm probably going to be on the podium.
Absolutely. Good luck, Dan.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Let's get a cheers, Dan. Let's get in word with Michael if we can. Just about to take a picture.
Good luck.
You told me to go away the other day, but what about now?
You can go away again if you want.
No, I'll come and talk to you, right, Michael?
Well, I'm here. We're here.
Do you know, I've never seen you so like that, but like you said to me the other week, last week, whenever it was, last week, you said you had one of these a couple of years ago and look what happened.
Aye, well, look, we're here. We'll give it a go. You know, the lads are putting effort is work, so it's my time to do my job.
The guys have been burning the midnight oil, haven't they?
It's been terrible. We've just... sad thing is we blew our engine that we were to use for the race, so it's been up against us, but look, we're here. Look, if I ride the way I did in 2010, if somebody beats me then fair play to him, but you have to do 127.
You have to. Oh yeah, good luck.
All right, good.
Cheers. Thank you very much to Michael there. Well, yeah, top man. You get what you get from Michael, don't you? So where's Dan Neen? I can't actually see Dan. He's not here. He's maybe in the shade somewhere. And where we got there? I'm being dragged along by somebody here. Who am I being dragged to? Oh, Hutchie's here. Yeah, well, let's get round the back of the Swan guy. Sorry, Sean. Just get around the back here and get under the shade and maybe let Hutchie get up on the bike and get comfortable and get the weight off that leg. How you feeling? Had a bit of rest from Saturday?
Yeah, I feel all right, yeah.
What about this little bike? First time on it here, getting the hang of it now?
Yeah, we're getting there, yeah. We've had to make some changes for this race, but, you know, hopefully it'll be good to go.
How did it feel after the race on Saturday? How are you feeling body-wise?
I feel all right, yeah. We're just making progress with the bikes every time we go out at the moment, so... You know, by the end of the week, hopefully we'll get a good run out on something.
But you must be happy with the performance that you had on Saturday. I know you're struggling like hell, like a lot of people, like say Simon Andrews was with the leg. But you must have been happy just to complete the race.
Not really. Well,
no, but you must have been just in the back of your mind. You must have thought to yourself, well, you know, all this effort, everything that's gone on, you finished your TT race.
Yeah, it's nice to be back here racing and do a 6-lap race. Just I come here to race, and I wasn't racing on Saturday, you know, but I've got to start somewhere, so we'll hopefully, next year we'll be back here to race properly.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hutchie there. Thank you very much. And just round the front, I didn't actually see Dan Neen. I don't know where he went to. Is that the board being shown? Somebody said that's a 3-minute board now being shown. Cameron's on the machine, Guy's on the machine. We've also got Ryan Falk. Oh, let's get in here. Maybe if we can just round everybody. And Stephen Watson, BBC Northern Ireland. Good afternoon to you. Ryan, quickly, let's just get into Ryan. Ryan, what about the 600 then?
I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't done a flying lap on it yet, but the laps that I did do, it seemed okay. So if I could get into the top 10, I'd be well pleased.
How's your back from the other day?
It's not too bad. I've got a bit of relief. You know, the bike was it wasn't working properly, and I was trying to ride around to set it up, and it was knocking the life out of me. My back got so sore I couldn't ride it. So it seems not too bad now.
All right, good luck, Ryan.
Thanks.
Thank you very much to Ryan Farquhar, trying not to get put up in the cables. Charlie, we're just about to go here, and well, a lot of people down on the grid issues, you could say. Quickly before I go to you, the board says road conditions good all round, light winds and high clouds, which is absolutely fantastic news for these 600 Supersport machines. 4 laps ahead, Charlie Lambert.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. So there we are. We have the scene set for us, and we are, just about 1 minute and 40 seconds away from the start of the 600cc Supersport race number 1, sponsored by Monster Energy. News of the Subarus, by the way, is that they've been taken off the course, we understand, at Parliament Square in Ramsey. So clearly the organisers not wanting to risk any problems as we got closer to the start of the race. Back to Chris now.
Well, listen to this that John McGuinness is getting here. Just a round of applause there for obviously the 18th win the other day, and the missus sorted him out. Now, I think he had 2 left gloves for some strange reason while he came to the line. John McGuinness had 2 left gloves, and that's 1 minute to the start of the race, and he's still talking to the wife, and a bit of a shake of the head there. So he's got a red glove on and a blue glove on there as well. They've got his gloves here now, so quick change on the gloves, I think, for John McGuinness, but he did come here with 2 left gloves, which is not very good, and Keith Amor has ran them up to him as well. Charlie, over to you for the start of the race.
Well, talk about brinkmanship. I've heard of footballers with 2 left feet. I was one of them. But there is John McGuinness with those gloves safely on, and now he is poised under the starting gate in the colours of the sponsors of the race, as well as of the whole TT Festival, Monster Energy. So 4 laps of the mountain course awaiting us. 150.92 miles is the distance. The winner last year, Bruce Anstey on a Honda, and there is John McGuinness. And people tend to write off John's chances on a 600, but don't forget he's won twice on 600 machines here and set lap records as we come into the final countdown towards the start of the race. And that little kerfuffle right at the end, hopefully it's not unsettled John too much. I'm sure he'll be able to put it to the back of his mind as the flag drops, and we are away racing, and it's Philip McCallan who's set us in motion as well, 11 times TT winner, doing the official duties of starter. And there goes John McGuinness away under the footbridge, and now it's Ryan Farquhar, and good to see Ryan back here after being forced to sit out the whole of the TT apart from the senior race last year after a crash in practice. Ryan at 2 is away, and here's number 3, Guy Martin. 5 podiums in Supersport races here at the TT for Guy Martin on the Tyco Suzuki. Next off is number 4, Cameron Donald. Looking very determined on the first of the Wilson Craig Hondas. 2nd place on Saturday for Cameron. And now last year's winner, here comes Bruce. Front end just lifting a couple of times as he goes down Glen Crutchley Road in front of us here. Bruce, a winner last year, his 8th TT win. And now Hutchie in the colours that stand out a mile and blaze their way all around the mountain course. Great to see Ian Hutchinson back in the colours of Swan Yamaha. Now Gary Johnson. Gary, one of a number of previous winners taking part in this race who've won on 600cc machines, the winner of race number 2 last year. Here's the local hope, Dan Neen, from Braddon in the Isle of Man on the Marks Bloom Racing Suzuki GSXR 600. Now Michael Dunlop. Michael lifts his rear end off the seat as the front end comes up, and he settles himself down, and away under the bridge he goes and down towards St Ninians. So stand by on Bray Hill. Nobody at 10 because Connor Cummins sadly forced out through injury to that right hand, but now it's number 11, Dan Stewart. Dan picked up 2 time penalties on Saturday, so hopefully he'll have his mental stopwatch adjusted this time around. Now Ben Wiley, number 12. From Market Drayton on the Brennan Bikes Yamaha R6, 8th in last year's race. James Hillier is number 13. On the Bournemouth Kawasaki Primo Racing ZX6, away goes James, number 13. Now the season campaigner Ian Locker, number 14. 10 TT wins, including victory in the 600cc division. Ian Locker is away and racing again. And now here is the pre-race favourite. It's number 15. It is William Dunlop, just stretching his rear end again, just as Michael did as he passes in front of us here. And away goes William Dunlop, 27 years of age, 126.18 in practice. He's racing, and so too is number 16, Adrian Archibald. A DNF on Saturday for him, an AMA Racing Yamaha R6 at his disposal today. Mark Parrott is off, number 17 from Mid Lyndhurst in Kent on the Vixen Racing Yamaha. And next is number 18, Roy Richardson. Roy Richardson in the leathers and helmet in the colours of Blackpool FC, the design inspired by American football. And number 19 should be Ian Pattinson as we look up towards the gate, and I'm not sure if Ian is there in actual fact because there seems to be a long delay before the flag drops again. So it looks to me as if number 19, Ian Pattinson on the Yamaha, is a non-starter. Indeed, Ian has not appeared because that's number 20, Ollie Linsdale on the SMV Engineering Flitwick Motorcycles Yamaha R6. Good to see Ollie back. He missed last year. So away goes Ollie, and away goes number 48 now, the first of the qualified riders. That's Daniel Cooper. And next after Dan is number 38, Ivan Linton, only Ivan's second TT, so a really impressive performance in qualifying for him. And now Daniel Hegarty, the 26-year-old, aboard the People's Bike. I met Daniel last night, a good young man he is as well, and his young son Evan is here cheering his head off for him, so good luck to him. Next off is number 37, sorry, in 24th place. Number 37, Stefano Bonetti. And next will be number 26, Rob Barber. There goes Rob. 15th in both these races last year. His best finishes apart from the TT0. Now the leader in the Privateers Championship, that's Dean Harrison, number 31. And next to go will be number 41. This is our 27th starter. Number 41 is Robert Wilson. Robert Wilson on the Stoddart Racing Kawasaki. Best newcomer in this race 2 years ago. So we are racing, and the leader will be closing in on Dave Christian at Glen Helen.
He's here already, Charlie. That's John McGuinness. And again, as tidy as he's been all week. Next bike sweeps into view. This is Farquhar, and he's tidy through here as well. And McGuinness looking nice and neat, but Farquhar's quicker than him to here. Not much in it, only a fifth of a second, but Ryan Farquhar definitely got a good start on McGuinness there. Guy Martin through, and he's closely followed on the road by Cameron Donald, who's clearly made up a lot of distance between the start and here on this opening lap. Another machine interview now, round the left-hander. That's Bruce Anstey. Again, nice and tidy through here. Nobody's doing anything heroic on the opening lap. But Cameron Donald, the quickest to here so far. But of course, I'm going to hold back a little bit for the leaderboard until we get William Dunlop through. Here's two together. That's Ian Hutchinson and Gary Johnson. Johnson caught Hutchie on the road between the grandstand and here, and that's 9 miles. He's made up 10 seconds. So Gary Johnson at the moment sitting on top of the leaderboard. And that's Dan Neen through, closely followed on the road by Michael Dunlop. So Michael Dunlop, he's reeled in Dan Neen by a good chunk as well between the grandstand and Glen Helen. Michael Dunlop now drops onto the top of the leaderboard. But again, we have to wait for bike number 15 until we can really get a leaderboard going. Little gap now. This is the space that the big man should have been in, but Connor, unfortunately, not able to start today. So that leaves us with a little gap on the road. As things stand, Michael Dunlop, the quickest to Glen Helen so far in this opening lap, as Dan Stewart runs through. He's safely through here on his opening lap, but Michael Dunlop currently the quickest, 2 seconds faster than Gary Johnson. He has a provisional lead, but we just got to wait for his brother. There's two together on the road, Ben Wiley and James Hillier. So James Hillier doing, he's got a good start there as well. He's catching Ben Wiley on the road, and Hillier drops into the leaderboard there as well. That was William Dunlop through. So bike number 15, he's well up as well, past Ian Locker on the road. Leaderboard then looks like this. Michael Dunlop leads William Dunlop by a quarter of a second. In third place, Gary Johnson, who is 1.5 seconds down on William Dunlop. In fourth, number 4, Cameron Donald, who is 0.6 of a second down on Johnson. In fifth, number 5, Bruce Anstey, who is a fifth of a second down on Donald. And in sixth place, Ryan Farquhar, who is half a second back on Anstey. That was Adrian Archibald just going through there in the background. He's safely through Glen Helen on his opening lap. And two together, 17 and 18. Roy Richardson and Mark Parrott, again, both safely through here on their opening lap. So Ryan Farquhar holds on to 6th place. In 7th, it's John McGuinness, who's a 1/5 of a second down on Farquhar. In 8th, it's number 8, Dan Neen, who's 2 seconds down on McGuinness. In 9th, number 13, James Hillier, who's 2 seconds back on Dan Neen. And in 10th, number 18, Roy Richardson, who is 0.6 of a second down on Hillier. In 11th, number 3, Guy Martin, who is 1 second down on Roy Richardson. That's number 20 there going through, Ollie Linsdell. Closely followed by 48, Daniel Cooper. So Cooper's had a good start. He's catching Ollie Linsdell on the road. 38 through there. That's Ivan Linton. Again, he's made a great qualifying time and did well. He started in 22nd position on the grid. But at the moment, it is the Dunlop brothers at the top of the race leaderboard, as they were on the practice leaderboard. That's 44 through there. That's Dan Hegarty. Closely followed by 37, Stefano Benetti. Benetti going well to here. He's on to 17th place at the moment, and that's a good result for him so far. Two more machines into view now. 26 and 31. Rob Barber and Dean Harrison, who went so well in that Superbike race on Saturday. Dean Harrison drops onto 13th place on the leaderboard. So he's going really well on his opening lap. And another machine now swings into view, a distinctive yellow, green-coloured helmet. That was number 48, was it? Somebody tell me what that number was. I didn't quite catch it. I walked past. 30 through there, that's Paul Owen. And the machine that come through before it was 41. It was Robert Wilson. Sorry about that, nearly missed him. So Michael Dunlop leads William Dunlop by 1/4 of a second. Gary Johnson third, 2 seconds back on Dunlop. In 4th place, Cameron Donald, who is 0.6 of a second down on Gary Johnson. In 5th place, Bruce Anstey, who is a 1/5 of a second back on Donald. In 6th, Ryan Farquhar, 1/2 a second down on Anstey. 7th is John McGuinness, a 5th down on Farquhar. 8th, Dan Neen, 2 seconds back on McGuinness. 9th, James Hillier, 2 seconds down on Neen. And 10th, number 18, Roy Richardson, 0.6 of a second down on James Hillier. Now back to the Royal London 360 commentary point at the grandstand.
Bon, à la sortie de Glen Helen selon les chronos, au top, le numéro 9, Michael Dunlop, 0,25 secondes d'avance sur son frère, le numéro 15, William Dunlop. Lui, 1,67 Sekunden d'avance sur le numéro 7, Gary Johnson. Heike.
Ja, wir sind am Rennen in den Monster Energy Supersport Rennen. Im ersten Lauf liegt in Führung in Glen Helen die Startnummer 9, Michael Dunlop, gefolgt von seinem Bruder William Dunlop, Startnummer 15, mit einem Rückstand von nur 0,25 Sekunden. Wird hier die Bruderliebe auf die Probe gestellt? Warten wir es ab. An 3. Position die Startnummer 7, Gary Johnson, mit einem weiteren Rückstand von 1,67 Sekunden. Zurück an Charlie.
At Banaf, it's a Dunlop 1-2, and it's still Michael leading from William by nearly 2 seconds. 1.9 the split between the two of them. Michael leading from William at Banaf. Cameron Donald in 3rd place ahead of Gary Johnson now. Gary Johnson in 4th, Bruce Anstey in 5th. The quickest through the speed trap at Selby is the Wilson Craig Honda of number 4, Cameron Donald, although William hasn't got there yet. 171.2 miles per hour. Next quickest is the Honda CBR 600 of Gary Johnson, but there's William now, and he is the quickest, 173.4, but we don't want to miss the leaders at Ramsey. Over to Roy Moore.
Well, we thought it was going to be close, but we didn't realise how close. John McGuinness, Ramsey hairpin, lap 1 of the Monster Energy sponsored Supersport, and through and round and away and head down, and he knows what he's got to contend with. He is Ryan Farquhar now, number 2 in the brilliant sunshine. That machine sparkles as it goes round Ramsey, just gets it on the rev limiter as he's away towards the waterworks, but that is going to be very, very close indeed. We too, like Dave, will have to wait till they're all through. There's number 4, Cameron Donald now, down through the box on the Wilson Craig machine, front brake hard on coming into the corner, and there's Guy Martin. So Cameron Donald already overhauled him on the road so far. Guy is through, and here's Bruce Anstey too. We didn't get a chance to see whether he swept round down below there, but he's holding on to a good place at the moment. For those who have gone through so far, it's Cameron Donald who holds the lead of 2 seconds over Gary Johnson, with Bruce Anstey third, Ryan Farquhar fourth, John McGuinness fifth, and Guy Martin sixth. Here's number 7 now. That is Gary Johnston, last year's winner, who's through. They haven't as yet changed the colouring on the description at the bungalow where he's painted on the side of the old museum. 2 more machines into view. That's very quick. That's Michael Dunlop, runs a little bit wide, and Dan Neen might just see the inside, and Ian Hutchinson is right there as well. So they've both got past Ian Hutchinson. We can have you that Michael Dunlop leads here, but we've got to wait for his brother, his sibling brother, to see what the position will be between the two of them. It was just 1.94 seconds. We'll call it 2 at Ballaugh. What will it be here at Ramsey Hairpin? Cameron Donald there, 6 seconds ahead of 6 seconds behind Michael Dunlop of the riders through so far. Gary Johnson just half a second down though on Dunlop. Bruce Anstey fourth, 1 3/4 seconds down on Gary Johnston. In fifth, it's Ryan Farquhar, just 1.5 seconds down on Bruce Anstey. Holding on to sixth, Dan Neen, just 0.8 of a second down on Ryan Farquhar. And seventh, number 1, John McGuinness. There's number 11 going through now, Dan Stewart. So I'm sure he'll slot into a leaderboard position where we got him down at 9th so far. But William Dunlop should be the next machine we see into view at Ramsey. And what will be the difference? Well, it looks as though Michael Dunlop is pulling out a bigger advantage now. It's up to 5 seconds. There they go through, the two of them round. There's Michael Dunlop and Dan Stewart, and Ben Wiley will be there here very shortly, I'm sure. This should be number 12, but the lead is being held by Michael Dunlop by 5.5 seconds here at Ramsey as Ian Locker comes into view now, down through the box and out round on the other side of the white line. 5.48, the exact difference between number 9 Michael Dunlop and number 15 William Dunlop, with Cameron Donald only 1.42 seconds down on the chasing front in 3rd place. In 4th place, it's number 7 Gary Johnson, only half a second down on Cameron Donald. In 5th, number 5 Bruce Anstey, just 1 3/4 seconds down on Gary Johnson. In 6th, Ryan Farquhar, just 1.5 seconds down on Bruce Anstey. In 7th, number 8 Dan Neen, less than a second down on Ryan Farquhar. In 8th, number 1 John McGuinness, who's 1.5 seconds down on Dan Neen. We then have in 9th Guy Martin, 10th James Hillier, 11th Roy Richardson. In 12th, it's Dan Stewart. In 13th place, number 6 Ian Hutchinson. 14th, number 4 Ian Locker. 14 Ian Locker. 15th, number 16 Adrian Archibald. And completing the top 16 there, 17th Mark Parrott. And there's only something like about 6 to 7 seconds covering those lower leaderboard positions. But at the front, it's Michael Dunlop who set the pace from William Dunlop. 5.48 seconds is the difference here at Ramsey Hairpin on lap 1 as another machine comes in very, very quickly indeed, and that's 48. 48 goes through there, Daniel Cooper, and 38 and 20 nearly get locked up there. 30-20 goes up the inside, that's Ollie Linsdell, and 38 Ivan Linton. So I don't think Ivan Linton comes into the leaderboard position there. In 15th place for Ivan, and he is only half a second down there, Ivan Linton, on the rider in front of him. But with the news from Ramsey, it's 5 seconds to lead for Michael Dunlop over William Dunlop. Back to the race commentary at the Royal London 360 Grandstand.
Michael Dunlop switched from Suzuki to Yamaha Power, and that certainly seems to be paying off. He's across the tram tracks at the bungalow some time ago. We're waiting for William to appear. William's at the bungalow now, and in fact it's Cameron Donald has gone into 2nd place, with William relegated to 3rd. But the important news is that Michael is even further ahead of the top of the field by 8 seconds. Michael leads Cameron Donald at the bungalow on lap 1 by 8 seconds. In 3rd place now is number 15 William Dunlop, 0.2 of a second behind Cameron Donald, with Gary Johnson in 4th place, Bruce Anstey in 5th. And the top 2 on the road are already coming down the mountain. They're at Cronknymona, Ryan Farquhar and John McGuinness. So, well, what drama we're seeing on this first lap of the Supersport 600 race, with William Dunlop, the pre-race favourite, top of the leaderboard, currently being eclipsed and in 3rd place. And it's Michael Dunlop who's been writing off his chances pretty much all week, but very much the dark horse who's gone to the top. But can he make that stick all the way through to the end of the 4-lap race? John McGuinness, the leader on the road, is at Governor's Dip. So we look up Glen Crutchery Road and we wait to see John come down. John, on corrected time at Ramsey, had slipped down to 8th place from 7th at Glen Helen. Here he is in the Paget's colours, racing for Paget's in the 600 races. Here's Ryan Farquhar in the colours of his own racing team. So John McGuinness, 18 minutes, 11.82 seconds, 124.405 miles per hour. Ryan Farquhar, 18 minutes, 10.33, 124.575. But here's Cameron Donald. Cameron lying in second place on corrected time at 125.088. That's 18 minutes, 5.86. But obviously we're waiting for particularly William to come through, as there goes Anstey. So Cameron Donald, Michael, of course, starting off on plate number 9. So at the moment, it's Cameron who is leading here, but that will change as Michael comes through. But will William respond to the news he'll be getting? And that is Gary Johnson, who at the moment slots into second place. And there is Michael. There's Michael going through with a furious waving of the left fist as he passed the pits. So, yeah, speculation that maybe he needs a tyre change, I don't know, but whatever it is, Michael has done exceptionally well, because he is now 10 seconds ahead of Cameron Donald, 10 seconds ahead of Cameron. Let's take a look at his times and his speed. 17 minutes, 55.79, 126.258 miles per hour, 126.258. Guy Martin is coming into the pits. Martin is into the pits. Ian Hutchinson has gone through. Let's check downstairs with Chris Kinley.
Well, you can just hear the revving the machine up there. The mechanics are having a little look round it now. He just gives a shake of the head. Right, okay, yeah, he's talking about throttles. The throttle's not picking up or something. I think that's what he's saying. I don't want to get too close to it because you don't know what you're going to get. But he doesn't look happy anyway. It could be a retirement, but we'll keep you posted. Charlie.
Guy sitting on the bike, and there doesn't seem to be too much urgency there. A discussion going on. William Dunlop is through Governor's Dip. That was Dan Stewart passing down here. I'm just keeping my eyes open for the man in third place, and there is William, and he's looking very composed and compact as well as he completes his lap, but he's still in third place, and it's very tight, just 0.3 of a second behind Cameron Donald. So Michael Dunlop with a 10-second lead over number 4 Cameron Donald. In third place is number 15 William Dunlop, just 0.3 of a second behind Cameron, and William has a lead of just under a second over number 7 Gary Johnson. So William's stats: 18 minutes, 6.21 seconds, 125.048. In 6th place, it's number 8, Dan Neen. So it's Michael Dunlop, Cameron Donald, William Dunlop. Then in 4th, it's 7, Gary Johnson. In 5th, it's 5, Bruce Anstey. He's 1.6 seconds behind Gary Johnson. In 6th place, it's number 8, Dan Neen. 1 second down on Bruce. In 7th is number 2, Ryan Farquhar. 0.2 of a second behind Dan. In 8th is number 1, John McGuinness. 1.4 seconds behind Ryan. In 9th is number 13, James Hillier, 23 seconds behind John McGuinness. In 10th place, it's number 18, Roy Richardson, who goes through, 2 seconds behind James Hillier. In 11th is number 11, Dan Stewart, and Guy Martin is a retirement. Guy Martin is a retirement. The machine has been wheeled away, not revving out. That is the news from the pit crew. So, back on the leaderboard, we had in 11th place number 11 Dan Stewart. In 12th is number 14 Ian Locker. In 13th is number 6 Ian Hutchinson. 14th at the end of the lap is number 16 Adrian Archibald. In 15th place is number 12 Ben Wiley. 16th is number 17 Mark Parrott. And that, apart from Guy Martin, is as many as we have at the moment. And that was another rider coming through there. I'm not sure. That was Ivan Linton and Dan Cooper. Ivan Linton and Dan Cooper are safely through. So in terms of how that pans out on the corrected time, we'll just try to give you that. Can't give you at the moment. It's Michael who leads as we head to Glen Helen.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. Excitement starting to build here. The first machine just sweeps into view. It's John McGuinness. As impeccable as ever, but not quite on the pace today so far, at least. And there is the second bike through on the road. That's Ryan Farquhar. And the road does go quiet for a brief moment here. We are sitting in the sunshine, just waiting for the next machine interview. And here it is now. Into the left-hander, Cameron Donald. Throttle on, and he's safely clear of this final bend in a complex of bends at the end of a tricky section from Ballacrane up to Crunkavody. There's the next bike through. That's Bruce Anstey. Again, neat and tidy, nothing spectacular. This is a corner that will lose you the race, I think, rather than win it. Very careful on the exit with a nasty little camber just dragging you away from the racing line in towards that bank where the airbags are. There's number 7, that's Gary Johnson, closely followed by Michael Dunlop. So Michael Dunlop made some big inroads there into Gary Johnson. Dunlop then leads on this second lap as Dan Neen goes through safely on his way down towards Kirkmichael. Michael Dunlop leads Cameron Donald here by 14 seconds, but we do need William Dunlop to come through before we can make it up. And interesting to note, bike number 29, Russ Mountford, he's holding on to 15th place at the grandstand, and he qualified 32nd fastest. So Russ Mountford from Wigan, he's having a cracking ride today, holding on to 15th place. Here's Hutchie. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Nice and solid, but again, not quite on the pace here today as we await William Dunlop. I think the next bike on the road should be Dan Stewart, and William Dunlop should be not too far behind him, but we have got a slight little gap here as we await their arrival. I'm just having a look back at the grandstand. Yeah, Dean Harrison continuing his good week at the grandstand at the end of lap 1. He was holding on to 10th. There's 2 machines into view now. That's William Dunlop and Dan Stewart together on the road, William Dunlop just ahead, and the leaderboard then is Michael Dunlop leads brother William by 13 seconds. Cameron Donald drops to 3rd, he's 1 second back on William Dunlop as James Hillier goes through. 4th place, number 7, Gary Johnson, who is 1 second down on Cam Donald. In 5th place, it's number 5, Bruce Anstey, who is 1.5 seconds back on Johnson. And in 6th place, number 8, Dan Neen, who is 2.5 seconds down on Anstey. That was Ian Locker safely through. He is holding on to 11th place currently, but there'll be some higher numbers to come through to fit in before we can make up that leaderboard. There's 12 through, that's Ben Wiley. Again, nice and safe through here. So we were up to 6th, I think. It's number 8, Dan Neen. In 7th, Ryan Farquhar. He is just 0.03 seconds down on Neen. In 8th place, it's John McGuinness. He is 1.5 seconds back on Farquhar. In 9th, it's James Hillier, who is 30 seconds back on McGuinness. We'll take this one through. That's the distinctive orange-coloured machine of Roy Richardson. McGuinness then holding on to 8th. 9th, James Hillier, 30 seconds back on John McGuinness. And in 10th place at the moment, Roy Richardson, who is just 1 second back on Hillier. And we have no changes to the leaderboard there. I think that was, get the number of that last one? Didn't quite catch it in the sunlight. That's number 17 through, Mark Parrott. I think it was Adrian Archibald, but Mark Parrott through there now on the number 17 bike. He is holding on to 16th place at the moment, but with Russ Mountford, Ivan Linton and Dean Harrison all having good races so far, they will be slotting into the top 15 as and when they get here. That's 48. That is Daniel Cooper, and closely followed by 38, Ivan Linton. Linton, he drops into 13th place on that leaderboard, but I think we will see Dean Harrison dropping in there a little bit higher up as and when he gets here. Machine number 20 through there, Ollie Linsdell, currently holding on to 19th place, and he's doing well after that horrific accident he had here a couple of years ago at Bishop's Court. 31 through, that's one we've been waiting for. Dean Harrison does indeed hold on to 10th place. as 37 and 44 through Stefano Benetti and Dan Hegarty. Your leaderboard then, Michael Dunlop leads William Dunlop by 13 seconds. In third place, Cameron Donald, who has 1 second back on Dunlop. Fourth is Gary Johnson, who's 1 second down on Donald. And in fifth, Bruce Anstey, who has 1.5 seconds back on Johnson. Sixth, Dan Neen, 2.5 seconds back on Anstey. Seventh is Ryan Farquhar. He is just 0.03 of a second back on Dan Neen. Eighth is John McGuinness, who has 1.5 seconds down on Farquhar. Ninth, James Hillier, 30 seconds back on McGuinness. And 10th, another great ride from Dean Harrison, who is just 1.5 seconds back on Hillier. And now we'll go back to the Royal London 360 commentary point at the grandstand.
À la sortie de Glen Helen, deuxième tour, au top, le numéro 9, Michael Dunlop, 13,25 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 15, William Dunlop. Lui, 1,18 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 4, Cameron Donald. Regret de vous annoncer l'abandon de la course du numéro 3, Guy Martin. Problème avec la machine. Heike.
Dankeschön. Auch in dieser zweiten Runde in Glen Helen liefern sich die Gebrüder Dunlop nach wie vor das Gefecht. In Führung liegt Michael, Startnummer 9, gefolgt von seinem Bruder William mit einem Rückstand von 13,25 Sekunden, erheblich ausgebaut. An dritter Position liegt Cameron Donald mit einem weiteren Rückstand von 1,18 Sekunden. Er hatte sich kurzzeitig auf die zweite Position vorgeschoben, doch William will sich hier nicht die Butter vom Brot nehmen lassen und ist wieder auf der zweiten Position. Leider müssen wir mitteilen, dass Guy Martin am Ende der ersten Runde hier in die Boxenstraße eingefahren ist und ausgeschieden ist. Mechanische Probleme. Zurück an Charlie.
Amazingly hot pace being set by Michael Dunlop. At Balaf, he now leads his brother William by 17 seconds. What on earth would their dad, Robert, the 5-time TT winner, be making of this? His two lads dominating the leaderboard in the 600 Supersport. One additional non-starter, number 60, Dan Sale. But it's time to pick up John McGuinness at Ramsey.
Absolutely spot on, Charlie, because here he is now. Probably be a pit stop after this lap, and I don't think they're geared up for doing tyre changes. Ryan Farquhar's going well. He probably made up that time on John McGuinness here. Yes, it's 1 and 2 seconds, we'd say. So he's only 8 seconds behind him now on the road, but 2 seconds ahead of him in the race. But that race at the front will be going between the two Dunlops as Cameron Donald comes in here now, probably getting signalling roundabout that he's holding on to that third place. Has a quick look over his left shoulder to see is there anybody about, but there isn't, and it's absolutely on the limiter. Bruce Anstey's quick this lap. Number 5, has he made inroads into Cameron Donald? I think he has, because he's on the pace now as Bruce Anstey, number 5. But we're waiting now for the race leader at Balaf, Michael Dunlop, to appear here at Ramsey Hairpin, and we'll be able to give you a countdown on that. And here he is now, the first of these two. The second is Gary Johnson. So Michael Dunlop just looks over, he's passed him, and he is getting really tucked in behind that bubble, but Gary Johnson is not letting him get away on the charge up towards the waterworks. But we can tell you the difference now. It has been a bit of a change, but bear in mind that William Dunlop is due here. It's now Michael Dunlop as Dan Neen goes through, who leads by 20 seconds from number 7, Gary Johnson here at Ramsey, with in third place Cameron Donalds, who's 2.25 seconds down on Gary Johnson. In fourth, number 5, Bruce Anstey, just 2 seconds down on Cameron Donald. In fifth, number 2, Ryan Farquhar, 3 seconds only down on Bruce Anstey. In sixth place, number 8, Dan Neen, but that could be upset by William Dunlop coming there, so a top 6 at the moment for Dan Neen, but he's only 0.66, we'll call it half a second down on Ryan Farquhar. We then have in 7th place number 1, John McGuinness, and he's only 1.25 seconds down on Dan Neen, but all eyes will be down the road to see number 14, William Dunlop to come through. This could be him here now. No, this could be Ian Hutchinson we see next, number 6, and it is down through the box. So another steady ride by Ian on his come back to the circuit. Number 6 is through, but this is William Dunlop now. What is the difference at the top? It's still that 20 seconds, but William has been relegated now to third place. At the second place is Gary Johnson, who is that 20 seconds down on the race leader Michael Dunlop, but now in third place is number 15, William Dunlop, who's 1.5 seconds down on Gary Johnson. Then we have in fourth place Cameron Donald, number 4, and he's only 1 second down on William Dunlop. So the two Wilson Craig machines there can't be separated by only one, or are separated by only 1 second here at Ramsey Hairpin as number 13 goes through. Let's see, does he slot into a place? Yes, 9th for James Hillier, so we'll run all through that. I think we did get down to 8th. It's now 9th, number 13, James Hillier, 42 seconds down on Jan McGuinness. In 10th place, number 11, Dan Stewart. Dan Stewart is just 2 seconds down on James Hillier. Number 14 is the biker here going through now. That's Ian Locker. And 14 Ian Locker is only 2 seconds down on Dan Stewart, and that relegates off the machines through so far into 12th place, number 6, Ian Hutchinson, who is 20 seconds down, 27 seconds down, in fact, on Ian Locker. But it's Michael Dunlop who still leads, increasing his lead. A further 3 seconds pulled out from the left to Ramsey Hairpin. The lead is now 20 seconds, but look out for that battle between second and third. Gary Johnson and William Dunlop only separated by 1.39 seconds. Within 4th place, Cameron Donald, only 1 second back on that, and Bruce Anstey not out of this either, just 2 seconds down on that four-way. That will make it a four-way battle there for second place, covered only by 1, 2, 3, 5 seconds. Another machine interview. This could be Adrian Archibald, is it? Yes, it certainly is. Number 16, Adrian Archibald. Roy Richardson was the machine you heard going through, and we can slot Roy into 11th place on our leaderboard. 11th place behind Dan Stewart, but only 1.5 seconds down. It's then in 12th, 14 Ian Locker, 13th number 6 Ian Hutchinson, 14th number 16 Adrian Archibald, and 15th number 17 Mark Parrott. So pit stops after this lap to get them topped up to do the final 2 laps of this 4-lap Monster Energy sponsored Super Sport race. And what a race we're having. The leader though, Michael Dunlop, pulling away. 48 and 38 are through there, Ivan Linton, and 48 is Daniel Cooper. So they started ahead of their schedule due to the qualifying, but certainly look out for that battle between 2nd, 3rd and 4th and 5th. It's absolutely terrific. Only 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds separating. Another machine that we expect to see through. There is, well, a distinctive fairing comes into view, and this is Ollie Linsdell, number 20, Ollie Linsdell through. We've got him there, I think, sitting in, well, not quite just off the leaderboard there. With the news from Ramsey, though, it's Michael Dunlop. With that battle going on, we return you to the race commentary control of Royal London 360 Grandstand.
So could Yamaha be heading for what is these days, surprisingly, really, when you think about the history at the TT, a comparatively rare victory around the mountain course. The top 7 on the road are past the bungalow now. Michael Dunlop with a 20-second lead over Gary Johnson. And there's been a change again, a change in the order, because Cameron is now back into 3rd place and William Dunlop is now down to 4th. So more drama in the Supersport 600 race as John McGuinness, our leader on the road, reaches Crockney-Mona for the 2nd time with pit stops beckoning. But at the bungalow, Michael Dunlop with a 20-second lead over Gary Johnson. Gary was 3 seconds ahead of now number 4 Cameron Donald, who's moved back up, and William Dunlop has slipped back to 4th place, a second behind Cameron Donald. And now he's got Bruce Anstey snapping at his ankles, because Anstey is 1.5 seconds behind William Dunlop. So although it's Michael who's stamping his presence on the leaderboard right at the very top, it's all to play for the remaining places. Well, no shortage of excitement then after quite a long delay, a delay of 2 hours and 15 minutes before we were able actually to go racing, but more than making up for it now, with Michael Dunlop leading the way, and John McGuinness, who is at Governors. John McGuinness is at Governors as the klaxon sounds to indicate that he's approaching pit lane, so much could depend on the speed of turnaround as they come into the pits. And here is that number 1 machine, the Paget's Honda of John McGuinness, making its way into its pit stop. Will join Chris Kinley.
Yeah, stops right on the duct tape that's been put on the floor here, like a straight line and then a V. It's right, virtually just in the middle of it. And the Paget's Honda in. Ryan Farquhar's in. This looks pretty leisurely coming in, actually, guys. So maybe Ryan is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8th position at the moment. But it is going to be a pit stop for him. Yeah, fuel cap is off. And there is Cameron Donald. He's here now as well. Cameron's a little bit further down from us on the number 4 machine. And looks like Bruce Anstey next it is. Bruce is about 3/4 of the way up. John's put a new visor on. And there, Bruce, oh yeah, nice and steady into the old stop box and out of that bit and into the Paget's box, and he's away. Ryan's in, we got Cameron in, we've got John in, he's just about to leave us now. Honda fires up straight away, easy peasy on that one. but it's Mickey D we've got to look at, and there's Michael in now. Charlie, just for the lap speed.
Yeah, we can give you that. It's 126.948, 126.948. That actually is a lap record for the first of the Super Sports. Not an outright one, though. That's still 127, held by Michael himself. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be too far away, but the man on the moves, you know, is Gary Johnson, and there's Cameron away also. Yeah, and who's this coming in now? That's Dan Neen on the 8 machine, the local man here, but Michael, well, here's Bruce Anstey. Bruce, no problems in the first pit stop. You hear the engine going a bit funny there. That's what you hear with the pit lane speed limiter kicking in and just knocking the revs down, and not allowed to do that 60 kilometers an hour. So Gary Johnson, fuel cap on. Yeah, good stuff, boys. You go, turns the thing in, and Gary and Michael are going to leave together. But Michael's machine, oh, she's not look. Oh, there she go. That could be a bit of seconds lost, but the lead he had at the bungalow was 21 seconds, so that could change. Tim O'Hanlon will be working furious on that there. Tim, let me know when you're ready if you have any updates on it, because we are waiting now for number 15, William. He'll be here. So quickly, just to tidy up those other speeds, Charlie, while we wait for William to turn up.
Give you Gary Johnson 125.763, so he was 21 seconds adrift of Michael when they came into the pit stop, and Bruce Anstey was ahead of Cameron Donald as they came in. Anstey 5 seconds down on Gary Johnson, and 2 hundredths of a second ahead of Cameron Donald, so desperately close. But here's William now.
Yeah, the klaxon going once more, and that's another rider coming in hard on the brakes. Can't see who that is to me. It's Hutchie, yeah, it's Hutchie on the Swan Yamaha. He is there. Oh, here we go. Let's get Hutchie in. Hutchie right down the centre of the pit lane. You can hear that Yamaha sounding rough as anything when the limiter kicks in. But Williams here. Let's have a look. Down at 4th, we heard. Last we checked, we'll get an update on that as Dan Stewart comes in on the number 11 machine. The bright white arrow with all those little spots on it denoting him, and the fuel, the last of the little fuel going into the Wilson Craig CBR. Williams had a drink, and Jamie just doing the fuel, just getting as much in as he can. William tapping the tank too, just to get rid of that bit of overspill there. But perfect, guys. Go, 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 go. There she go, light it up and away they go as number 13, James Hillier, holding the top 10 leaderboard position. He's right by us now, and I'm not sure if Tim has worked those times out yet. Tim, have you? If you have, let Tim, Ian Locker comes in. Ian is past us, and Tim, do you have those times with the other mic, if possible, because I'm up the top here. No, not yet. He's not ready yet. So, yeah, hectic stuff for Tim O'Hanlon. Obviously, they're at all other ends of the pit, so we've got to be really careful about getting these times worked out, because it's tight enough as it is. Yeah, go on.
Just while we're waiting for that, really interesting as they came into the pit stop. William Dunlop confirmed in 3rd place. In 4th, it was Bruce Anstey, and Cameron had actually dropped down to 5th place coming into the pit stop. And also Ryan Farquhar's lost a couple of places as well on the run over from Ramsey, in 8th place on corrected time as they came into the pit stop. But obviously we'll hand down to you to get the updated data.
Right, after the pit stops, Michael Dunlop has got a 16-second lead over the 2nd place, number 7, Gary Johnson. In equal 3rd place, 15, William Dunlop, and 5, Anstey, 3 seconds behind Johnson. In 5th place, number 4, Cameron Donald, 3 seconds behind Dunlop and Anstey. And in 6th place, number 1, John McGuinness, 5 seconds behind Donald. Back up to Charlie.
Right, well, so there we are. It's Michael Dunlop continuing to lead, but having lost some of his advantage there as they left the pit stop, losing something like 5 seconds. So 16 seconds then the corrected gap when they left after the pit stop. Michael Dunlop leading by 16 seconds from Gary Johnson, and then, as Tim was saying, 3 seconds behind Anstey and William Dunlop, who can't be split, 3 seconds behind Gary Johnson, and they are both 3 seconds ahead of Cameron Donald. So Cameron's having a really eventful race. He's been all over the place on the leaderboard, 4th up to 3rd up to 2nd, and then going back down again. So I don't suppose Wilson Craig knows which way to look at the moment, given what's going on out there, but no shortage of drama, and Michael Dunlop it is who leads the way. So let's get some other placings for you at the end of the 2nd lap, but in fact there's no time for that, because the leader on the road is at Glen Helen with Dave Christian.
He isn't quite, Charlie, but we're anticipating him any time now, and the crowd are, there's a little ripple of excitement goes along the wall as the machine noise starts to reverberate up the valley, and here he is. It is the leader on the road, John McGuinness, safely through. No dramas there from John McGuinness. And it's looking like it's going to be a Dunlop race. He has got quite a large lead from that coming out of those pit stops, and of course he was he qualified at an exceptionally fast rate as well. As 2 together on the road. That's Ryan Farquhar and Gary Johnson. Johnson obviously well ahead on corrected time. And 5 goes through Bruce Anstey. Sorry, not Gary Johnson. I tell a lie. It was Cameron Donald. Sorry, mixing up my 4s and 7s. Yeah, Cameron Donald through here. Gary Johnson not quite with us yet. We're expecting Michael Dunlop next as the machine does come into view. That is Gary Johnson. And Michael Dunlop is not made it here. He was ahead of Gary Johnson coming out of the pits, and he doesn't appear to have made it as far as Glen Helen on his 3rd lap. So that does look like a problem for Michael Dunlop, and we wait and see. Another machine into view. That is the number 8 bike of Dan Neen. And yes, Michael Dunlop missing at Glen Helen on lap 3. Gary Johnson leads at the moment, but we do need to await the arrival of William Dunlop before we can confirm that leaderboard. And I'm just hearing that Michael Dunlop has retired at Balig Bridge, so that is drama on lap 3. Michael Dunlop out, and that really does throw the cat amongst the pigeons, because there was about 10 seconds separating the places 2 to places 8. So 7 riders all within 10 seconds of each other, and Michael Dunlop missing will really make it an interesting race with just a lap and a bit to go now for the leaders. The gap between 1st and 6th at the moment, 17-20 seconds. So there's very little there between Gary Johnson and Ryan Farquhar. And we just await the arrival now of the next machine. It should be William Dunlop. Bike comes into view. It's moving reasonably quickly, and it is William Dunlop. He's through here with no dramas at all. We can now give the leaderboard. Gary Johnson leads Cameron Donald by 3.5 seconds. In 3rd place, Bruce Anstey, who was 1 second down on Donald. And in 4th, William Dunlop, 1.3 seconds down on Anstey. Ian Hutchinson goes through there. Still circulating nice and neatly, but he's a little bit off the pace. In 4th place, I said William Dunlop, 1.3 seconds down on Anstey. 5th at the moment, John McGuinness, 8 seconds back on Dunlop. And 6th place, Dan Neen, just 1/3 of a second down on McGuinness. That's the number 11 bike of Dan Stewart through. And he will slot into 8th place at the moment on the leaderboard. But we do need the arrival of James Hillier. Hillier through, and he does indeed drop into just ahead of Dan Stewart in 8th place. Looking back at the grandstand times for those higher numbers, Russ Mountford holding on to 14th place, Ivan Linton 13th, and Dan Cooper of 15th. So they've all gone really well from their starting positions. That's number 14, Ian Locker through here, Glen Helen. He's holding on to 10th place at the moment. So yeah, fantastic ride from Russ Mountford and Daniel Cooper as well. Just looking for Dean Harrison there on that list from the grandstand at the end of lap 2. I've not seen his name just pop up yet. He was going particularly well after that great race on Saturday. But Gary Johnson leads there here at Glen Helen on lap 3, and he has made he's got a 3-second advantage over Cameron Donald. That's Roy Richardson. And again, no dramas from Roy. He's neatly through and will be winging his way down towards Kirkmichael very shortly. But yeah, Russ Mountford had a good set of results last year. I think he had a top 20 position in, I think it was either the senior or the superbike. And he was obviously starting to find his way around this circuit, and a great place to be in, 14th place with I think he started something like 30th. And another machine now comes into view. He's round the left-hander. That's the number 16 bike of Adrian Archibald. So we have Gary Johnson then leads Cameron Donald by 3 seconds. In 3rd place, Bruce Anstey, who is 1 second back on Donald. In 4th, it's William Dunlop, 1.3 seconds down on Bruce Anstey. In 5th, John McGuinness, 8 seconds back on Dunlop. In 6th, it's Dan Neen, who is 1/3 of a second back on McGuinness. In 7th, Ryan Farquhar, who is 9 seconds down on Neen. In 8th, James Hillier, who is 52 seconds back on Farquhar. Richardson, who is 6 seconds back on Hillier, and in 10th and number 11, Dan Stewart, who is 2 seconds down on Richardson. Back to the Royal London 360 commentary point at the grandstand.
Au troisième tour, à Glen Helen, en tête le numéro 7, Gary Johnson, 3,45 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 4, Cameron Donald. Lui, 0,73 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 5, Bruce Anstey. J'annonce l'abandon du numéro 9, Michael Dunlop, à Balleg, près de Glen Helen. Heike.
Ja, danke schön. In dieser dritten Runde liefern wir Ihnen Dramatik, wir liefern Ihnen Spannung. Als erstes, Michael Dunlop ist ausgeschieden an Ballag Bridge, nimmt nicht mehr an diesem Rennen teil. Weiterhin Spannung pur. Gary Johnson, die Startnummer 7, liegt nunmehr in Führung. Vor der Startnummer 4 Cameron Donald mit einem Vorsprung von 3,49 Sekunden, gefolgt von Bruce Anstey, die Startnummer 5, mit einem Rückstand von nur 0,73 Sekunden. Zurück an Charlie.
Dean Harrison, who was going so well in a top 10 position, a retirement at Selby Crossroads on lap 2. Dean Harrison, a retirement at Selby Crossroads on lap 2. Ian Locker was in 9th place on corrected time at the end of lap 2. Some other retirements for you. Number 12, Ben Wiley at Ballaugh Bridge. 52, Grant Wagstaff at Ballacrane. 78, Daniel Freer making his TT competitive debut at Selby Bridge. 55, Steve Hennigan at Ballaugh. Number 9, Michael Dunlop, we've already heard about, and confirmation of Dean Harrison. We have some time penalties as well for machine number 49. Not too sure who that is off the top of my head, but he's got a 30-second time penalty. 39 likewise, 53 likewise, and number 70 likewise, all got 30-second penalties. But excitement at the top of the field. Over to Ramsey and Roy Moore.
Spot on cue again, Charlie, there, because there is John McGuinness now riding as hard as ever, and he does take that rip off there just on the exit from Ramsey Hairpin, but number 1, a lonely ride for him. He hasn't seen anybody as yet. He might just catch a glimpse, or Cameron Donald might catch a glimpse of him, because Cameron is here, and he's got past Ryan Farquhar, who tucks in behind them as they go away tight to the wall on the outside, and Bruce Anstey is trying. I can tell you, the way he came out through Stella Maris means that Bruce Anstey is trying. And it's Cameron Donald who leads, but there's only 1 second in it between him. We're waiting now for Gary Johnson to see what the difference is. It was 3 seconds at Ballaugh. What will it be here? Gary Johnson is here now. Machine looking good, he looking good riding, and he too just takes one of those fly-spattered covers off the front of the visor and is away, and it's Gary Johnson at Ramsey Hairpin, lap number 3 in the Monster Energy sponsored Supersport, who is 4 seconds ahead. It's 3.96 on official timing. Gary Johnson leads Cameron Donald here, but Cameron Donald has got a battle on now with Bruce Anstey, who is only 3/4 of a second, 0.78 to be exact, down on Cameron Donald. Moving up to 4th, it's number 8 who's just gone through there now, Dan Neen, 13 seconds he's down on Bruce Anstey, relegating John McGuinness, though, who they're having a battle on, but only by 1/4 of a second. John McGuinness, number 1, down into 5th place. It's then in 6th place, number 2, Ryan Farquhar, who is 6.5 seconds down on John McGuinness. But that all depends now on the arrival of number 15, William Dunlop. He was holding on to that 4th position at Ballaugh on this lap, and it was only 1.83 seconds in it between him and Bruce Anstey. But I get the impression that Bruce Anstey is on the pace, and with only 4 seconds covering the first 2, and him only 3/4 of a second down on that chasing the leading 2 riders, well then anything could happen on this last lap. It looks as though William Dunlop is here with us now at Ramsey Hairpin. He comes into view, down through the box, steady as ever, back end shaking, but tight into the left-hand side and round that distinct style, which puts him right behind the bubble all the way, and he's still in that 4th place and still remains 3.63 seconds behind Bruce Anstey. So it looks as though Bruce Anstey has pulled a couple of seconds on the run from Ballaugh here to Ramsey Hairpin, so we'll just revise the top 8 now, because I do believe Ian Hutchinson will be through now that William has gone through, and Ian Hutchinson is here now, out into the brilliant sunshine, that yellow swan fairing getting caught, dare we say. The sun is glinting on the fairings. That's one from the old days back up at the bungalow. So it's Gary Johnson, 3.9 seconds down on Cameron, ahead of Cameron Donald, who in turn is just 0.78 of a second ahead of number 5, Bruce Anstey. Bruce Anstey in turn 3.5 seconds ahead of William Dunlop, who in turn, William Dunlop getting chased by Dan Neen, but it's 9.23 seconds that he's behind. In sixth, number 1, John McGuinness, just 2.29 of a second down on Dan Neen. James Hillier has just gone through, and Dan Stewart, so we'll see where we can slot them into our leaderboard as we move further down. It's seventh now for number 2, Ryan Farquhar, 6.5 seconds down on John McGuinness. We then have in 8th place number 13, James Hillier, but he's 1 minute and 3 seconds down on Ryan Farquhar. Then in 9th place, number 11, Dan Stewart. Dan Stewart is 12 seconds down on James Hillier. 14, Ian Locker has just gone through, and he goes ahead of Ian Hutchins, so it's 10th place for number 14, Ian Locker, but 4.5 seconds down on Dan Stewart, with now completing the top 11 here, number 6, Ian Hutchinson, 21 seconds down on Ian Locker. So disappointment on this lap for Michael Dunlop, stopped at Beleg. It's a popular place for him. I can recall that he has stopped there in the past. But the news that the leader is Gary Johnson, but only by 3.96 seconds. We now back to the Royal London 360 commentary point at the grandstand.
Flying Kiwi has woken up. Bruce Anstey, number 5, is in second place at the bungalow, and Gary Johnson has less of a lead now than he did when he passed Roy Moore at Ramsey. It's just over 3 seconds, 3.09 to be precise. Gary Johnson leading Bruce Anstey at the bungalow. Cameron Donald is now in third place, only 0.3 of a second behind Bruce Anstey though, so these podium places still very much up for grabs. And in fourth place it's still William Dunlop. Meanwhile, John McGuinness has got past Dan Neen on corrected time. John McGuinness is up into fifth place with Dan Neen 6th. And talking about Supermac, he is at Cronknimona for the third time. John McGuinness at Cronknimona for the third time. News on time penalties. These are imposed for riders exceeding the speed limit in pit lane. Number 88, Andy McPherson, has been given a 60-second time penalty for exceeding the speed limit. The others who have received the 30-second penalties, Dave Hewson, Paul Shoesmith, Scott Wilson and Dave Moffat. So, barely a moment to catch our breath, but the race leader, Gary Johnson, is now at Cronknimona, and Anstey has taken a little bit more out of him. It's 2.6 seconds now. This race is far from done and dusted. Who's going to be the winner at the end of the fourth and final lap? It's all to play for, with number 7, Gary Johnson, on the Honda leading Anstey. Here's McGuinness now, first on the road. John McGuinness goes through, and John McGuinness, if anybody drops out in front of him, could be on for a podium finish. John McGuinness is through at the end of the lap. At the moment it's a little bit quiet, but here comes Cameron Donald, and there's Ryan Farquhar right behind him. Cameron Donald, number 4, looking very determined indeed, ahead of Ryan Farquhar on the road. But it's all about number 7, Gary Johnson, and number 5, Bruce Anstey. There is the Kiwi man, the man from New Zealand, Bruce Anstey. Has he got another TT win under his belt today? Bruce Anstey at 120.126. The lap details, of course, including the pit stop this time around, but Bruce with a lead of 0.23 seconds over Cameron Donald. Here's Gary Johnson. Let's see how it's shaping up now as Gary Johnson goes through. It is still Gary leading, and just over 2 seconds. It's as you were pretty much at Cronknimona. Just fractionally that gap has diminished. So has Bruce got enough time in the final lap of the mountain course, 37 3/4 miles, to continue the way he's catching up Gary Johnson? But Gary Johnson leading by 2.06 seconds over number 5, Bruce Anstey. Anstey is just 0.23 seconds ahead of number 4, Cameron Donald. That is the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Of course, we wait for number 15, William Dunlop, who was in 4th place. So while we're waiting, just let me give you some of those details from lap 3. The race leader, Gary Johnson, 18 minutes, 54.09. and that's 119.769 miles per hour. Second place at the end of the lap, number 5, Bruce Anstey, 18 minutes 50.72, 120.126. In third, number 4, Cameron Donald, 18 minutes 50.92, 120.104. Now, up at Ramsey, William Dunlop was some 3 to 4 seconds behind Cameron. So is that still going to be the state of play at the end of the lap? It's very quiet at the moment, but we should be having some more riders coming through here fairly soon. Looking up Glen Crutchery Road, all quiet at the moment. And here does come a machine, and it is that number 15 of William Dunlop. So let's see what William has done, and he's still in 4th place. William's still in 4th place, 9 seconds behind Cameron Donald. So the real battle is for the 1-2-3. The real battle for the 1-2-3, and certainly between Anstey and Donald, where it's extremely tight, and Cameron has been up and down the leaderboard like a window cleaner doing his rounds today, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be settling for third place. Cameron will be licking his lips and thinking that he can still get second. He'll be thinking he can still get first. So this Supersport 600 race, postponed by 2 hours and 15 minutes, is more than making up for the delay. There's Ian Hutchinson going through on the Swan Yamaha at the moment in 7th place, the man on the number 6 plate. He's, a minute, nearly 2 minutes behind Ryan Farquhar on corrected time, and other riders will be coming through to shuffle in ahead of him. We're also waiting to see Dan Neen complete his lap. Dan Neen, the local hero, of course, on the Marks Bloom Racing Suzuki at number 8. And I'm just wondering where Dan Neen is in actual fact, because he should have been through by now. So no sign of Dan just at the moment. He's not appearing on the data here at the grandstand. But we do believe that he was signalled at Cronknymona. In fact, I can see the light on above the number 8 on the far side. So, and in fact, Dan is also signalled at Governor's, so he must be going slowly. There must be a problem as Ian Locker goes through. So there must be some difficulties with Dan. It looks like he's still circulating, but clearly not at full race speed. So some sort of a problem there. So let's have a look and see how things are shaping up at the moment. It's Gary Johnson, number 7, leading for number 5, Bruce Anstey, by just over 2 seconds. In third place, it's number 4, Cameron Donald, 0.2 seconds down on Bruce Anstey. So it is a Honda 1-2-3. William Dunlop's in 4th. John McGuinness is 5th as we go back to Dave Christian at Glen Helen.
Thanks, Charlie. Just 2 seconds separating the top 3. It's anybody's race. 2 machines into view. One's a tail ender. The other is indeed a leader on the road, John McGuinness. Didn't catch the tail ender's number, but John, I think, has just slipped past him on the exit. Here's 2 together as well. It's Ryan Farquhar and Cameron Donald. Cameron just ahead of Ryan on the road. And they're both clean through here, Glen Helen, on their final lap. Into the left-hander sweeps Bruce Anstey. Bruce Anstey still leads Cameron Donald on lap 4 at Glen Helen. He has an advantage of 1.2 seconds over Cameron Donald, but we do need the number 7 bike of Gary Johnson before we can make that up. And there is the number 7 bike of Gary Johnson. And he does slip through here at Glen Helen, but the lead is down to 1 second. Gary Johnson leads Bruce Anstey by 1 second. Anstey holds a 1 second advantage in turn over third place Cameron Donald. This really is anybody's race, and if you're out and about watching this afternoon, this is a cracker. Just 2 seconds separating the top 3. It's the final lap. Is about 27 miles or there and thereabouts to go, and it is anyone from 3 could win this. John McGuinness, he currently holds on to 4th place, but we will wait the arrival of William Dunlop before we can confirm that. And William Dunlop should be the next bike on the road, and we have to wait for that start difference to get gobbled up, and Dunlop should be with us very shortly. Roy Richardson circulating well. I see him up to 8th place there at the end of the lap at the grandstand. So a great race for him. Ivan Linton up to 12th there at the end of lap 3 at the grandstand as well. And Dan Cooper holding on to 13th. So great rides from those guys. And I think we also await Russ Mountford's number to slot in there too. But those guys lower down the starting order are having a good afternoon here in the sunshine on the Isle of Man. But that top 3, amazing timings. It is Gary Johnson currently holding on to the lead from Bruce Anstey by just 1 second. And another bike does come into view. That is William Dunlop, the number 15 bike. And he drops into 4th place on the leaderboard. So Johnson leads Anstey by 1 second. Cameron Donald in 3rd. He's 1 second back on Anstey. William Dunlop in 4th. He is 10 seconds down on Cameron Donald. John McGuinness holding on to 5th place, 10 seconds back on William Dunlop, and Ryan Farquhar in 6th. He is just 0.6 of a second down on John McGuinness, so interesting racing there. Ryan Farquhar could still pinch a top 5 place if he can keep it on, keep the pedal down or the throttle twisted between here and the grandstand. Next machine we're due to see, I think, should be Ian Hutchinson on the Swan Yamaha. A yellow bike does come into view, tips into the left-hander. Nice and tidy as you'd expect, but just not quite on it today. Hutchie slots into 7th place at the moment, but he's likely to drop a few further places when James Hillier, Roy Richardson, Ian Locker and Dan Stewart all come through here. Dan Stewart and James Hillier should be the next two, and Locker not far behind them. Stefano Bonetti, I see, he's crept up to 16th place there at the grandstand at the end of the lap. And Davey Morgan as well, circulating well, holding on to 18th. Here's 2 bikes now. That is Dan Stewart and James Hillier, virtually together on the road, but a little gap between them on corrected time of about 20 seconds. James Hillier slots into 7th place. He is 1 minute and 30 seconds back on 6th place, Ryan Farquhar. Dan Stewart slots into 8th. He is 18 seconds back on Hillier, and they both push Ian Hutchinson back to 9th place. That's Ian Locker safely through on his final lap. And Locker goes in between Hillier and Dan Stewart on the leaderboard. Ian Locker currently holding on to 8th. But that may change as and when Roy Richardson arrives here. He was holding on to 8th place at the end of the lap. But that's amazing racing from those top 3, Johnson, Anstey and Donald. Still can't believe how close this race is right at the final lap. And it'll be fantastic viewing for everybody who'll be bathed in sunshine up there in that mountain section. Donald and Anstey just got a couple of seconds there to make up, and that's easily done. There's Roy Richardson. He drifts around that left-hander at the foot of this hill here at Glen Helen, and he safely completes the corner for his final time in this race. Richardson does indeed slot into 8th place. He is 11 seconds down on 7th place James Hillier, and Ian Locker then hangs on to 9th. He is 2 seconds down on Richardson, with Dan Stewart 11th in Ian Hutchinson 12th. And I notice, Ivan Linton there, he should be he should be on 12th place when he gets here on corrected time. Russ Mountford there, the other guy I've been following this afternoon, he was 15th at the grandstand. The top 10 though on lap 4 is Gary Johnson leads Bruce Anstey by a second. He has an advantage of 1 second over 3rd place Cameron Donald. William Dunlop 4th. John McGuinness 5th, Ryan Farquhar 6th, James Hillier 7th, Roy Richardson 8th, Ian Locker 9th and Dan Stewart 10th. Now back to the Royal London 360 commentary point at the grandstand.
À la sortie de Glen Helen, selon les chronos, le numéro 7, Gary Johnson, reste en tête. 1 seconde d'avance sur le numéro 5, Bruce Anstey, qui a 1 seconde d'avance sur le numéro 4, Cameron Donald. Heike.
Ja, und in dieser letzten und 4. Runde liegt nach wie vor in Führung durch Startnummer 7 Gary Johnson mit einem Vorsprung von nur 1,02 Sekunden auf den Zweitplatzierten. Die Startnummer 5 Bruce Anstey, der angeblich flugunfähige Kiwi aus Neuseeland, hat die Flügel ausgefahren und hat Cameron Donald, die Startnummer 4, auf den 3. Platz verwiesen mit einem Rückstand von 1,22 Sekunden. Zurück an Charlie.
Still Gary Johnson leads at Ballath from Anstey, with Donald in 3rd place and William Dunlop in 4th. Another retirement, Sean Anderson, a retirement at Governors. News of newcomers, Jimmy Storer circulating in 48th place. That was at the end of lap 2, and Gary Graves in 54th. Jimmy with a best lap of 111.590 and Gary Graves 107.064. And Maria Costello, we always keep an eye on Maria, 52nd at the end of lap 2 at 110.481 on lap 2, 112.498 on lap 1. Leaders on the road are closing in on Ramsey Hairpin. It's back to Roy Moore.
Who's it going to be? It's not this man. He's top 6 though. It's John McGuinness. So as he has on the first lap, leading on the road in, there's 2 machines quickly into view, and it is Cameron Donald and Ryan Farquhar. So the watch has been stopped now. There was just 2 seconds in it there between him and Bruce Anstey. And Bruce Anstey's here, and I would say that's less. It's number 5. Bruce Anstey is through, and it is the leader's been held by Bruce Anstey, but only by 0.22 of a second here at Ramsey Hairpin on this, the 4th lap of the Monster Energy Sponsor sponsored race, but Gary Johnson has got to come here yet. Is Gary Johnson going to take it? Yes, it is. Gary Johnson is the leader, but only by a quarter of a second. 0.40 of a second, the lead for number 7, Gary Johnston, from number 5, Bruce Anstey, who in turn is just 0.22 of a second ahead of number 4, Cameron Donald. What a trip over the mountain this is going to be to see who's going to win this Supersport Race 1, sponsored by Monster Energy. Well, you would think that the Honda-backed Paget machine would have the power on the climb going out, but it's all going to be revealed now. It's a lead, but only by 0.40 of a second for Gary Johnson as number 84 comes into view here now. We haven't got him down on our board. Well, we have got him on the list. Let's just see if we can check. It wouldn't be very good to not put him down through 84. Just checking on to get that there, but the lead is being held by Gary Johnson, but only just a fraction of a second. 84 was Gary Graves, who was through, who has been lapped by the first 5 riders here at Ramsey Hairpin. But what a battle this is going to be over the mountain to see who's going to take it. You wouldn't put your money on any of them, but Gary Johnson will be fully aware that he's just got a fraction of a lead. Bruce Anstey will be fully aware that he's just a fraction of a second behind, and Cameron Donald could still take this with a good trip over the mountain. The next in view, I think, would be Ryan Farquhar, who's holding on to that 4th, but that could change as well, because William Dunlop would be due here now. Number 15 would be due here at Ramsey Hairpin. Started off probably as favourite for this race. Michael Dunlop set the early pace, and William is round and through, but the Wilson Craig machine going well and holding on to that 4th place, but it looks as though he's 14 seconds down on his teammate Cameron Donald here at Ramsey. 14.34 is the difference, but it's 4th place for William, 5th place for Ryan Farquhar, who is 6 seconds only down on William Dunlop, and John McGuinness holds on to the top 6 position here, number 1, but he's 4.39 seconds down on Ryan Farquhar, so it's all to look out for on the run now to the line and the finish. The 4 laps, the tyres will probably be about equal as well. The fuel certainly will, because I do believe they've got to run on certain type fuel in this Supersport class. So what a race we're going to have here for the line, and it's going to be very, very close indeed, no matter what happens. And this is the time that you're glad that you've got this automatic timing, because in the old days, Ian Hutchison just gets the back sliding a little bit as he comes in, and it's 7th place for him of those who have gone through previous. But that could change with the arrival of Roy Richardson and James Hillier here at Ramsey, and Ian Locker going well too is there, because Ian was holding on to an 11th place at Balap Bridge on this lap, but Dan Stewart, Ian Locker and Roy Richardson and James Hillier were all ahead of him, so we won't get to get them through before we can shuffle the lower part of the leaderboard, the 6th to 12th positions there. But certainly we don't want to miss anything as Gary Johnson, Bruce Anstey and Cameron Donald go over the mountain. We can tell you we're just waiting now for the information to come through from the bungalow. Bruce Anstey is through the bungalow, Cameron Donald is through the bungalow, Ryan Farquhar and John McGuinness. When that screen flashes up, we can tell you that Bruce Anstey leads from Cameron Donald, but Gary Johnson not there. He's down to 3rd, so the race lead is being held by Bruce Anstey, but only by 1 second from Cameron Donald, who in turn is 1.26 seconds ahead behind Cameron Donald. So it's all changed on that climb up the mountain. The race leader now is number 5, Bruce Anstey, but only just 0.93 of a second at the bungalow is the difference. What a finish this is going to be. 1 missed gear, 1 braking point missed. It could all change. We don't want to miss this down there, but the news from the bungalow is that Bruce Anstey leads back from the Ramsey Hairpin to the Royal London 360 commentary point at the grandstand for the finish.
Well, if you think this is exciting stuff and you want to relive it in the future, you can of course do so by going to www.manxradio2t365.com, and it's going to be replayed on Listen Again. At Cronknimona, it's Anstey, Cameron Donald and McGuinness. They're all through Cronknimona, and Anstey is increasing his lead over Cameron. It's now 1.3 seconds, at Cronknymona with 1.5 miles of racing yet to come. News of Dan Neen, by the way, is that he came off at Governors with minor back injuries and has been taken to hospital. Dan Neen on lap 2 off at Governors with minor back injuries. But we're going to be putting the stopwatches on Cameron Donald. He started 10 seconds ahead of Bruce Anstey. Gary Johnson is now 6 seconds down, so clearly some difficulties for Gary, but it's between the New Zealander and the Australian. That's the shape of it, the two Honda machines. Is he going to be Donald? Is he going to be Anstey? Here's Cameron now, crosses the line as we start the stopwatch. And now can Bruce get here in less than 10 seconds? 5 seconds have gone. We look down Glen Crutchley Road. Here comes Anstey now, crosses the line. I think it's Anstey's. I think it's Anstey who's done it. We wait for confirmation. It is. It's Anstey who's done it by less than a second. Less than a second after over 150 miles of racing. Would you believe it? And 10 years since he won his first TT victory here on the Isle of Man, Bruce Anstey has done it again. 0.77 seconds. That's all there was to split the two of them. What's happened to Gary Johnson? Clearly some problems on the second half of the final lap. We wait to find out exactly what the problem was there, but it's another victory for the amazing enigma from New Zealand. Bruce Anstey, less than a second over the Australian Cameron Donald. Gary Johnson yet to cross the line, so we're not quite sure exactly what the situation is. His light has come on at Cronknymona, but so far he hasn't made it to the finishing line. But Bruce Anstey, what can you say? What can you say about the man? He absolutely continues to defy all logic, and when you think he's out for the count, he comes back and posts the most amazing result. So Anstey, Donald and McGuinness, the only three to cross the line, down to Chris Kinley.
Tell me, Bruce Anstey, just said to me then.
Okay, I ran out of fuel coming down the hill. I got to a hairpin and came out onto the main straight, and it was I was going to make it over the line.
You've made it over. You are the Supersport Race 1 winner.
Can't believe it.
Can't believe it. Take his lid off. It's the first thing he said to me. He puts his head down into the bubble where it's probably been for most of the race. We'll let him just compose his thoughts. He keeps the front brake on. The team are coming here now, and here, and we'll get all the details from Bruce. He gets a well done, and here's the missus. And you can hear Clive in the background as well there. We'll let him take his RI lid off, the carbon fibre RI lid that he described a little bit earlier. We'll get that plug in for you. How does that sound? Okay, the RI guys are happy anyway. He's here, gets a big shake of the hand from Wilson. Hang on a minute. Wilson Craig, we've got a confirmed third yet there, have we, Charlie?
No, we're still waiting for confirmation.
Okay.
Of third at the moment is John McGuinness, but here's William Dunlop. William Dunlop looks at the checkered flag and takes the checkered flag, and William Dunlop is on the podium for the first time in his TT career. 21 seconds down on Cameron Donald in the end, but it's the first TT podium for William Dunlop. And news of Ryan Farquhar is that he's out of fuel at Craignibar. So the drama keeps on coming. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, we've got Bruce here now, and let's get in. And Sansi, well, you've had a little. How does that feel now?
I just can't believe it. I was, again, first just wasn't going fast enough. I was really annoyed with myself. Just put my head down and just kept just going as high as I could. And I could just see the times coming down, getting closer and closer, and like I just went for it on that last lap as high as I could.
You won the race by less than a second.
I just couldn't believe it. I was really close. I was getting plus most of the lap. I just tried as I could.
Tell us a little bit more about it. What about conditions out there?
I think they're pretty much perfect. I think a little bit windy, but apart from that, the road's really good. Really pleased.
Charlie just said there, on 10 years after your first one, that's 9 now.
We're getting there.
You're getting there. What about the bike though? When did you start to feel it going?
Trying to think where it was. I ran wide at the my brain's gone.
I'd let Cameron congratulate you. Cameron, I think he just said UBUGGER, whatever that is, I don't know. But Bruce, another TT win, congratulations.
Just over the moon. The team have worked hard all week, so no, really pleased with it.
Good man, well done Bruce, thank you very much. And then we'll get the official confirmation of the time difference, Tim. Where is it, Tim? It's 0.77 of a second. 0.77 of a second. Cameron, he holds his head in his hands.
Oh, I just hold my breath, clench my bum a bit tighter. I don't know, something. 0.7. Jeez, I gave it everything, and I caught John coming off the mountain, but I don't think he cost me any time. He was still going darn quick, so I sort of used him as a goal to try to chase down, helped a bit. there's a bit of oil on the track coming out of the nook there, so played it probably a tiny bit too safe. But look, whatever it is, it's I'm proud to finish second to Bruce. He's a phenomenal rider, and that was definitely the closest TT race I've ever had.
Looking at it, Ramsey Hairpin on the last lap, there was 2 seconds between you three. Johnson is in, unfortunately, Gary, a retirement, but wow, how tight.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I was getting a couple of boards around the track, and I could tell by the crazy waving and encouragement from everyone on the hedges that it was a close finish. It was going to come down to the end, and I just gave it absolutely everything. But no, I'm very proud to be second, and happy to see Bruce get the win. He's a good mate, and we've been friends for a long time. So yeah, we'll see if we can improve one step on Wednesday.
All right, well done.
Thank you very much.
Very much, Charlie. Just to tidy up the 1, 2, 3 there, and we'll just grab William in a second.
Well, we can, but obviously the story is still to be told about what has happened to Gary Johnson, because Gary has yet to finish. Of course, he was leading the race, and then Bruce mounted that amazing charge on the last lap. So the 1, 2, 3 is Anstey, Donald and Dunlop, with John McGuinness taking 4th place and James Hillier 5th. Ian Locker, a very good 6th place. Roy Richardson, entirely justifying his seeding, was 7th place. Dan Stewart 8th. At the moment, Ian Hutchinson in 9th. Let me give you the details of Anstey's win then. A final lap time of 17 minutes 52.6, 126.634 miles an hour. Bruce's race time was 1 hour 12 minutes 55.92 seconds at an average race speed of 124.160 miles per hour. Winning, as we've heard, by 0.77 of a second over number 4, Cameron Donald. Cameron's final lap time, 17 minutes 53.14, a speed of 126.571, and Gary Johnson has just completed pushing in with applause round pit lane. He's just pushed in. He's in fact just mounted the bike and has just made his way down across pit lane. So clearly a story to be told there, and it's going to be a hard luck story as well. Back to you, Chris Kinley.
Well, it's good news for the Wilson Craig team, second and third. I'm sure William wanted to be up the top there. William, how's the ankle, first of all? Looking a bit sore? You're all right?
Yeah, not too bad. I'll not use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
Just wasn't quick enough, and I did tire towards the end, I have to say, but it's just the way it goes. Can't thank the boys for the bike enough. First class. Just
mega fast through the speed traps and everything, but it was so close there at the end. I think there was at one point between like the front 5 or 6, it was only about 6, 7, 8 seconds.
Yeah, no, I kind of thought that anyway, because I seen P2 and one of my things, and next thing I seen P4, so I kind of thought it was pretty close, but no, it's just the way it goes.
Michael got away, and then did you see him pulled by the side of the road? Michael retirement?
I don't even know. Yeah, no, that's what.
But he's got a new lap record for this race anyway, so he'd be happy with that. But third for you, though, Gary Johnson, a bit of hard luck, but a podium for you, which is good.
No, that's it. No, I'd say good work. That's a solid mar. You have to get the bike home, so no, glad with that.
First TT podium from memory, or was it second? First.
Yeah. It's the first one.
Yeah, it's the first one. Yeah.
You don't count the balloon.
yeah, don't count. Yeah, all right, don't count the balloon. Okay, but a third position on a podium as well. Leslie smiling behind you as well. That's all right.
No, he's looking drunk later on. That's the problem.
That's him. William, well done for a third. Thank you.
All right, cheers.
There you go. There's your 1, 2, 3. You, Charlie, for a second.
Yes, we can complete the details then. I think we were on Cameron Donald with a final lap time of 17 minutes 53.14, a speed of 126.571. Cameron's race time 1 hour 12 minutes 56.69 at a race average speed of 124.138. In third place, number 15, William Dunlop, lap time for lap 4, 18 minutes 5.24 seconds. That's 125.16 miles an hour, a race time of 1 hour 13 minutes 17.8 seconds, 123.542, and he finished in the end 21 seconds behind Cameron Donald. And in fourth place is number 1, John McGuinness, 18 minutes 6.3 seconds, 125.037 miles an hour, and John's race time was 1 hour 13 minutes 26.06 seconds at 123.31 miles per hour. John finishing 8 seconds behind William Dunlop. So a lot of people with good cause to feel pleased with themselves today. Among them, number 13, James Hillier, In 5th place, that's his best ever finish at the TT, although he finished nearly 2 minutes behind John McGuinness, 1 minute 59.8 seconds to be precise. In 6th place, we have number 14, Ian Locker, 10 seconds down on James Hillier. In 7th, number 18, Roy Richardson. As I was saying before, Roy more than justifying his inclusion among the seeds. And in actual fact, I'm wondering if it's a dead heat between Ian Locker and Roy Richardson for 6th place. 1/100th of a second, Norman Quayle points out. Yes, 1/100th of a second between the two of them after 150 miles racing. In 8th place, number 11, Dan Stewart, 10 seconds down on Roy. In 9th is number 6, Ian Hutchinson, 8 seconds down on Dan Stewart. And Ivan Linton, a cracking performance by the man from Lincolnshire. Only his 2nd TT after a few years at the Manx Grand Prix, number 38, taking 10th place. And he finished 26 seconds down on Ian Hutchinson. In 11th, it's number 48, Dan Cooper, another star who's rapidly beginning to twinkle here around the mountain course. 17 seconds down on Ivan Linton. 12th place goes to number 16, Adrian Archibald, 1 second down on Dan. 13th is number 41, Robert Wilson, another really good display there, 5 seconds behind Adrian. 14th is number 29, Russ Mountford, 7 seconds down on Robert. 15th is number 37, the Italian Stefano Benetti, only 0.2 of a second behind Russ Mountford. There has been some really close racing all the way through the field today, that's Stefano Benetti. In 16th, number 22, Davy Morgan, 10 seconds behind Stefano. 17th is number 26, Rob Barber, 2 seconds down on Davy Morgan. 18th, number 17, Mark Parrott, only 0.3 of a second behind Rob Barber. 19th is number 30, Paul Owen, and in 20th place is number 44, Dan Hegarty, less than a second down on Paul Owen. As for Gary Johnson, well, we reckon that those problems cost him around 6 minutes over the final half of the last lap of the race, and at the moment he's in 27th place on corrected time, but tumbling further and further down the order as riders continue to finish. So really unfortunate for Gary, after looking as if he was going to pick up his 2nd TT victory. But instead, victory going to the 43-year-old one-time glazier from Wellington in New Zealand, now based in Windsor in England, Bruce Anstey, at the age of 43, proving that class is absolutely permanent. Third on Saturday rather, in the Superbike race for his 23rd podium, and the winner today for his 9th victory here at the TT, and repeating his victory from 12 months ago for the Paget's Honda team. So we'll be going ahead with the garlanding ceremony in the next few minutes or so, once the riders have made their way up from the interviews in the winners' enclosure. So a chance just to recap then on the details of the race. And the story of the race was that Michael Dunlop it was who set a hot pace right from the start. Michael Dunlop with a lead of 10 seconds over Cameron Donald at the end of the opening lap, and it was Michael who continued to rule the roost all the way through lap 2, with the fastest lap of the race at 126.948. Coming into the pit stops, it was Michael leading from Gary Johnson, with William Dunlop in 3rd and Bruce Anstey at that point in 4th place. Okay, we'll continue with that in a few moments' time, but we're going to go down to Tim Glover.
Yes, with our very special guest here today, Sir Jackie Stewart. Sir Jackie, you've witnessed one of the closest, most exciting TT races ever.
Well, I think it's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen anywhere. Sadly, I've never been to the TT before, and it's just an amazing spectacle.
The film has done an awful lot for the event, it would seem.
Well, that's why I'm here. My son and I went to, and Helen, my wife, we all went to see the film in London when it was premiered. And just the very sight of seeing that just was like a magnet. Paul, my son, he likes motorcycles and he owns them, but I've never been a motorcycle man. But to see the kind of performance that was put up today is just sensational.
You were saying that it was going round in one of the course cars later on in the day. I suggested to you maybe you should drive. You said no way.
No, I think it's better to get a professional to drive me around here. I just want to see it. I mean, just the reputation this place has in every corner of the world, I don't think you all in Isle of Man fully appreciate just how big the TT is in every corner of the world. And all of us in motorsport, I know Mark Webber was here last week, or a few days ago, and we just think it's an amazing performance by all concerned. The riders, the ability, the experience that's required, 39 miles. We've got nothing in motor racing that's even close to it.
It's almost old school, isn't it? Old school.
Yes, well, you know, they're mature riders, so therefore they know the business, they can handle it, they've got it mentally, that's what's needed.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for talking to Manx Radio TT365 to Jackie Stewart. He will be doing the garlanding, I believe, here. Upstairs to Charlie as the bikes start to make their way up now pit lane for the podium celebrations.
Well, I think we might just have seen the second closest finish in the history of the TT, because the tightest finish was 0.6 of a second. That was back in 1995 when Mark Baldwin beat Mick Lofthouse in a 125cc event. That was 0.6 seconds. This was 0.7 seconds. So it could well be that we have just witnessed the second closest finish in over 100 years of racing the TT, and of course 101 years of racing on the mountain course. So I can see Sir Jackie Stewart, who's going to be performing the garlanding ceremony, now making his way up towards the rostrum down here, and the riders beginning to make their way up as well. We were just going through the events of what has been an absolutely magnificent race, and recalling that at the end of lap 2, the halfway stage, Bruce Anstey was actually down in 4th place. It was Michael Dunlop who led, and Michael who went out with a 16-second lead after the pit stop adjustments ahead of Gary Johnson, and Anstey and William Dunlop were pretty much level pegging in joint 3rd place. But then when the news came through that Michael had retired at Brig on lap 3, it was Gary Johnson who went to the top of the leaderboard, with Cameron Donald in 2nd and Bruce Anstey less than a second behind in 3rd place. At the grandstand at the end of lap 3, Bruce had made a move and had moved ahead of Cameron, was 2 seconds down on Gary Johnson, and through lap 4, Bruce continued to nibble away at Gary's lead, 1 second behind at Glen Helen, less than half a second behind at Ramsey. Then, whatever the problem was with Gary, that began to make its presence felt, and it was Bruce who went to the top and managed to resist the charge of Cameron Donald and brought the Paget's Honda home in 1st place. And it's another Honda clean sweep on the podium. Anstey, Donald and William Dunlop all on Honda machinery, as indeed is John McGuinness in 4th, with James Hillier on a Kawasaki, Ian Locker on a Kawasaki in 5th and 6th places. So there's a bit of a bustle and a hubbub down below me at the moment while they get themselves sorted out for the ceremony. I can see Jackie Stewart taking a good close look at the Junior Tourist Trophy, which is the prize that's awarded to the winner. I think we're ready to go ahead now with the fanfare. Two scouts have made their way up there, one with the flag of the Isle of Man, the other with the flag of New Zealand, and a couple of the Monster Energy girls are up there as well, adding a fair proportion of glamour to the proceedings. So the 3 riders are making their way up now, and it's William Dunlop who I think will be leading them up as the man in 3rd place. And then we've got Cameron Donald and, of course, Bruce Anstey as well. So they make their way up to the top in front of the Pat grandstand here, with people coming forward to the railings to get a better view. Cameras at the ready over on the far side. The scouts who've been keeping tabs on the movements of all the riders, some of those coming out to the front to watch the proceedings as well. While down Glen Crutchery Road, riders continue to finish their race, and, of course, riders competing for replicas, competing for finishers' medals. The great thing about the TT is that you don't have to be a winner to be a success here. Success is judged by other yardsticks from most other sporting events. So there we are then, the Junior Supersport TT, sponsored by Monster Energy. In 3rd place from Northern Ireland, riding a Honda, William Dunlop. Congratulations to William on the podium here for the first time, and there is Sir Jackie Stewart presenting him with the garland around the neck and the cap for 3rd place. In 2nd place from Australia, riding a Honda, it's Cameron Donald. Well done to Cameron, another great ride by the man from Melbourne, and he's got his helmet under his arm and he's got the garland round his neck. But it is all about the winner from New Zealand, riding a Honda. The winner of the Junior Supersport TT is Bruce Anstey.